Hey, Chris Lipe here with my very first time hearing and analyzing Codfish. Thank you so much for joining me on my rabbit hole down into beatboxing. This is not my native language at all, but so many of the things that I've learned, particularly over the last year about my own voice and about the voice in general, is making this journey incredibly fascinating for me. So feel free in the comments to point out things that I am doing wrong or observing wrong and point me in places that I could learn even more. I'm going to get into this and in the process show you some things that I've figured out with my own voice since the last time I reviewed beatboxing.
I walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's only me and I walk alone. I walk alone and I walk up.
So one of the main things I'm noticing about this one, and I heard it with Indicator too, but it's really standing out here, is the consistency of flow between all the different sounds and all the different engagements. I'm going to have to watch it again. I'm fairly certain this is not... There's no loops going on. There's no multi-track vocals going on. This is a one-take thing. But the way he weaves his transitions and sounds together, it almost, if you were closing your eyes or you weren't seeing that this is, in fact, one guy in front of a mic, you'd think it was placed or sequenced or multiple things happening with multiple voices.
I walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's only me and I walk
right here.
alone.
The way he finishes with the percussion and the phonations is absolutely incredible. Now, I want to talk about his dual tone nature here as well. Because I've been experimenting with some things in my own voice based on a lot of the comments that you guys left on my Indicator analysis.
I walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known.
So, the only road that I have ever known is what is the primary vocalization that I hear there.
A lonely road, the only road that I have ever known.
And then the octave lower. I would have just assumed it was the Tuvan throat singing sort of method that I covered in the last one. In my mind, mine, the lonely road, yeah. That sort of sound. But the more I've played with that, it doesn't feel very agile, and some of you were saying, well, no, lots of guys will do it where it's more of a fry-based thing than that false chord-based engagement, and so I started experimenting with that. And then adding a tone back into it. But his sounds more defined. There's this true octave.
The lonely road, the only road that I have ever known.
But it's also super soft. The only road. I can hear that octave relationship. He's also so incredibly agile. I wonder if that's the technique he's using, or if it is just, in fact, he's very agile with the more throat singing version. Because I can take that pitch around a little bit. I've been getting better with that, but maybe it's just more practice. Let me know. Which one is it? Or maybe it's a third something.
Don't know where it goes, but it's only me and I walk alone.
I like that he can go in and out of it in the midst of the melody. That's just amazing. Also, this one seems to be giving more away to me in terms of how to get some of those initial percussion things. Lots of you commented last time and said to embrace relaxed P, loose P, and loose B sounds. Don't tense up, don't tighten. Keep it loose because that creates more motion with your mouth and creates a deeper sound, which is really cool. And I see that happening. There's a controlled looseness here with those sounds. I try to get one of those sounds. As you can see, learning this stuff with very little experience in the genre requires me to say, I don't care how dumb I sound or how dumb I look. And this is really true for all types of vocalizations, all types of singing in any genre, and in lots of varying areas of life as well. If you can learn to throw off judgment and truly not care what others or even yourself thinks about what you're doing in the moment so that you can be free to absorb and learn and act off of inspiration, free to trip, free to fail, you will go far. I will help you do this in my free course, linked in the video description or pinned comment. I will give you mindsets and targeted exercises to completely free your voice so that you can pull all sorts of things out of it you never knew were there. There's also a tightness though in the he fills his lower lip.
I walk alone and I walk up while my shadow haunts on the walls beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating time. Wish on the thing on me.
Wow. I also hear a good sense of nasal resonance transfer right there on the wham. So it's not just whatever dual engagement he's got going on in his throat. Dual phonation. Right.
Until then, I walk
Watch.
alone.
Listen. Forward and off. We're just listening to the primary chord phonation. I think this is a huge part of this style as well. Direct, like as it is with regular singing, directing energy through primarily the mouth and then choosing to direct it around and primarily through the nose. Wow, wow. Versus whoa, 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 whoa. There's something about projecting nasal resonance that helps other things fall in line in this style too. So cool.
Hey, 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 I walk alone and I walk up.
That snare is super impressive. There's an element of an F, I think, in there. Maybe? Yeah, there's so many things working together. So cool. There's an inside of his lip going on there too, or is that his tongue? Might be part of his tongue.
This empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams.
incredible agility there with those either of those techniques. It's absolutely amazing.
Empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one and I walk.
So something that I've been experimenting more with lately that I can see tying into this is this concept of fry singing. So we choose a note, and then we back off of the intensity until our voice starts to fry out, not go lower. And then we move that around. Then once you lock in, you can hear that dual tone nature. I think he's just very developed in that, and maybe he's using other techniques as well. But as I've experimented with this, both in chest voice and head voice, and then experimenting with breath pressure, there's some real possibility there. So I feel like I'm onto something. Something I'm already seeing that is very... It's a tightrope to walk, is this idea of using the right amount of pressure and engagement and compression and all that stuff, breath support, in order to get the right balances to do the dual phonation. Well, that seems to be in challenge to the intensity and amount of breath pressure used for the percussive techniques. Would appreciate some insight into that as well.
When I walk alone and I walk alone.
Listen to that Indian.
When I walk alone and I walk alone.
Thanks for recommending this. Thanks for learning along with me and teaching me as I reach out to you guys to help me better understand this genre. This has been a lot of fun for me. Again, if you would like to learn how to use your voice and experiment with your voice freely and non-judgmentally so that you can pull in all sorts of influences and use sounds to your advantage in your own voice, click that link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free course. Be sure to check out the other beatboxing video that I've done on this channel. It's going to keep growing. Keep sending suggestions. We'll see you for more.